Alright, good morning gang. I'm at chess.com bottling their next bot to celebrate upcoming Earth Day. This one's rated 1750, named Sunny. And so I just played the one rated 1350, Rhonda. And so now I'm going to see how I do against the 1750. So I look forward to these new robots, and thought I'd run my big fat mouth and hit record and see what happens. A little different today. I'm playing outside out here, so let's see. This is a bit of a tricky opening. Yeah, I feel like with this opening, my opponent just wants to use the bishop and the knight together. Come down here and lay down an attack. So I'm trying to prevent that from happening. And so it's kind of fun playing out here. I thought it might be neat for my audience and myself to hear the birds in the background. I hope my microphone can pick that up. I think it can. And so I need to get my pieces out. Right away I see my opponent looks like had a better opening than I did. My two center pawn are missing and my opponent's are not. So I need to be mindful of that. That's not a good thing. So let's see if I can get a major piece underneath that knight, underneath the king, because that's a semi-open file now. That E file is semi-open. There's only one pawn on it. Let's see if I can. Okay, that's a good move by my opponent. It's now guarding that E pawn as well, so underneath the king there. Yeah, I'm afraid it's gonna want to attack my rook. So let's see what we could do. I was hoping to get something going before my opponent castled. One thing about playing out here in the morning is I do live in a neighborhood, so I wasn't quite early enough. I think people are starting to get up and have their coffees and start their vehicles for the day. I'm not too far behind them, but I realize my king is trapped in, and so that's what I'm trying to draw attention to. It's something that I'll have to deal with sooner than later. My opponent is using the bishop and the rook together really well. Big takeaway in chess. You got to use your pieces together. Definitely have to use your pieces together. One piece by itself can't do much. If you're familiar with my channel, then you know you've heard me say that a million times. But I will say it a million times more because it is super important. So this is a good future idea. Swinging that queen into action. I could line up, you know, if I get somebody's pawn out of the way. Looking for future ideas, things that'll pay dividends down the road. I don't like that bishop being lined up with my king and having the support of the rook. And now the rook and queen are lined up, as you can see. So I've got a lot of pieces pointed at my king. And, you know, my bishop is terribly placed. So let's see what I can do here. And I realize my rook's under attack as well. I'm just trying to see how to deal with this. But I own the second rank with my rook, so I can swing my bishop and attack that queen. Try to kick it out of there. Okay. So not terrible. There's part of me that's eyeing that pawn, but I think I'm going to try to get that queen out of there. Boy, my opponent is really crowding around my king, and that is hurting me at the moment. It's messed up my tempo is what happens, is because it doesn't allow me to set up anything. I'm just constantly defending myself all the while. My opponent is gathering tempo, gathering time, you might hear people say. It's a beautiful fork sitting out there. It's easily defended. You can pause the video and see how the rook can swing in and defend the bishop. But I don't like this bishop eyeing my king. I'm constantly using my pieces to defend. I feel like I'm +1, but I've got one more piece than my opponent does. Minor piece, the knight. We both have dark squared bishops. We both have 2 rooks. We both have a queen. Then I have a knight. But my opponent has 1 more pawn than I do, or 2 more pawn than I do. 2 more pawn than I do. I can't do math. Offering a queen exchange. I don't want to take it, but I feel like I should, because my opponent has so many pieces lined up and I'm constantly dancing around trying to defend myself. So that's why I went ahead and did the exchange. Didn't want to, but you know, enough already. I feel like I was getting my ass handed to me, just dancing around. And I'm trying to look around. Usually in the morning, early morning, I come out here and I fill up the bird feeders. So I'm trying to draw out my ideas, but oh yeah, the birds, I try to fill up the bird feeders, and so they're all coming around to the feeders. They know it's time. They know when I fill them back up. I still got this bishop. This bishop has been killing me this entire game. This bishop has been killing me this entire game. Eyeing down my king like that. And so if I do the exchange, then I'm down a pawn. more than likely. I just felt like I had to do something. My rook on the first rank stops checkmate at the moment. So right now my rook is pinned to the first rank. But I'm tempted to do a pin on the 8th rank, and then I can exchange. So pretty much has to do the exchange now. I feel like that exchange was in my favor because I had to deal with something about that. My opponent's rooks were lined up and mine were not. I feel like mine were poorly placed. My opponents were lined up, so I do have one minor piece and my opponent does not, but my opponent's pawns, here's the problem. I've got one pawn on the other side, but my opponent has a pawn in the center and 2 on each end. This is my key. This is the key to this game, is I've got to take away my opponent's pawns. That's kind of the thing here. If I could get up on the 8th rank and get my knight in position, I can win this. So again, I'm just trying to draw out on the board my idea. There, now if I can get to the 8th rank, it'll be mate because there's not an escape route for the king. And now there is an escape route for my opponent's king. Crap. So 1750 is a very respectable robot. I should have planned on them seeing that, of course, but I thought I'd try it. Wow, I've only got 2 pawns, so it's a little dangerous. It's a little dangerous for me right now. I want to go there so bad, but I don't want to lose another pawn. In the end game, my king has to go to work. Especially with pawns on both sides of the board, my king is going to have to go to work. I can't just hang out and hide my king. I've got to go to work. Love to get my king there and then go to the 8th rank and then it's mate. If I could do that, because my king will have their king blocked off. That's probably a lot. I need a lot of time to do that. I need a lot of tempo to get that going. That's my knee-jerk reaction, is to see that. That's what I want to do. I don't think it's going to happen. We'll see. I don't know. I am just nervous about that rook taking my pawn again. Will I really be allowed to get under my opponent's king with my king? I don't think the rook's going to allow it. I just don't. I know I keep drawing this on the board, but this is my big plan, but I just don't know. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try for this fork, but yeah, that's my plan. Okay, so there is soon going to be -1 pawn to deal with, and it's check. Okay. There's some squirrels running around on the deck out here. These marching pawn are going to be hard to stop. Trying to see if I can promote this pawn. If I can get my rook under the king, the pawn won't be able to recapture my pawn as I promote, but I'll have to use my knight to help. Meanwhile, do I have time to do all that before my opponent can also queen? I mean, that's a good theory. What I'm drawing out, I don't know. I can really do it here or not. Oh boy, yeah, there goes the pawn. And I'm at risk of losing my knight here. Okay, yeah, so see, this is what I was talking about earlier. Is, can't recapture because the king is underneath my major piece here. So I own the G file there, so I'm really close to being able to promote, but just not putting it together here. That would be nice. But wouldn't the king just take, of course? So, well, this bot is proving to be, well, I'm having difficulties with this bot, I confess. I feel like I'm close to closing this out, but I don't quite see it. What am I missing here? Alright, so if I go there, there's only one square the king can go to. And well, I'm gonna go for it. And so I think I got some squirrels on the deck running around trying to go after the bird feeders. The birds know when I put fresh feed out there, but so do the squirrels. My wife and I enjoy watching the squirrels as well. However, they have a tendency to clean out the feeders much faster than what the birds can. So, could let that pawn go to a fork, but my opponent can get out of it because I'll be immediately in check as I just drew out on the board. So that's something to always watch out for as well. See if I can save this. Oh, these pawns are making me nervous. Oh boy. So playing out here, this is something new that I thought I would try. As the weather becomes nice. It is rather loud out here, more so than I thought. The bird sounds are cool, but I think maybe I didn't get out early enough. My neighbors are stirring and starting their vehicles, and the sound really travels early in the morning. I'm tempted to let my opponent have that knight and start taking care of these pawns. I assume my microphone is picking up these birds. There's a bird yelling at me. I think I'm sitting too close to one of its feeders, and it's not having it. But it's hard to let a knight go just to start taking a pawn, but I hope I don't regret this. Oh boy, this is some dangerous stuff. Okay, so need to get on top of my pawn, but oh god, I just lost the game. I just lost the game. Wow, I totally screwed that up, gang. Yeah. Wow, splatter ass moment. Splatter ass moment. Oh, wow. Is there still hope? Probably not. Not at 1750 baht is, I'm not strong enough to pull this off. there are players out there who could win this. I'm not one of them. Oh yeah, my rook is pinned. I think this is over. I think it was over when I stepped out where I could be brought into check. I think is the turning point. Yeah, I'm sure it is. YouTube has this new thing called rewind. You can rewind and check it out if you didn't see it. I didn't see it until after it happened. So just hoping for a draw, you know, but hoping I could do something to get a draw, but I'm gonna have to resign, gang. I was hoping for, that's it. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll try it again. Have a good day. Cheers. Okay, so here's one of the guys that was making all the noise in the background. I was gonna try to record him. That little guy right there on the hand railing. When I was sitting still at the table, he was actually on the table on the other side of my laptop. And there's one of the cardinals. Let's see. Yeah, he's not gonna let me get too close to him now. Okay, so that was some of the commotion. Hope you all have a great day. Blessings.